Okay, this is our first Illustrator tutorial. And so we will go to the Illustrator icon in the dock, open it up, and actually let's start with a new document. And we'll just go new, or you could do Apple N, and we can keep it any size you want because this is vector art. This is done by mathematical equations as opposed to just straight size, and you'll see that you can really zoom in and out and there's really no difference. When you open it up in Photoshop, you have to decide the actual size. So we've got here stroke and fill. Stroke is when you take and draw a line, that's stroke. Fill is what goes inside. So let's take this, give it a color, and lo and behold, boom, there's a color inside. Once again, stroke is the line, fill is what's inside. You'll notice here that our object is selected. As long as it's selected, we can do different things. We can make different colors. We can change the stroke. Make that a different color. We can play with how thick the stroke is. We can make it so that there's no stroke. This one here with a little red line on the bottom, that will make the stroke disappear. So let's make the stroke go back, and we'll make the fill disappear. Easy as that. Our other option is, of course, a gradient. So here we have solid color, gradient, and none as far as stroke or fill. So let's get rid of that, and we're going to experiment with a little metal here. We'll go out and choose the star. By the way, you can make any of these come off that you like. You can just tear them off, but let's not do that. Let's go make a star, pull it, and as we pull, I'm thinking of having like a medallion. So what I'm going to do is I take my arrow key on my keyboard, and as many times as I push that, that's how many times you'll have little points. You can also push the little apple, and that will also change it, make it more in. There we go. So here we go. Here's our little medallion. And so we want to make that sort of a yellowish color. We want to keep it not as a solid, we want to keep it as a gradient. We want a stroke. So first of all, let's just make our stroke kind of a nice golden color. Make it a little bit thick, so we'll go to stroke up here, and whatever you feel would be good size so that it stands out. Anytime here we can take these and see how that turns into an arrow. Hold down shift and pull it out if we want to make it larger. Shift will keep it so that it is, the portions are constrained the same. If we don't put shift, we run, that can happen. So we want to keep shift down. Now let's go to the stroke. Click on stroke. Click on fill. And here in the gradient, window here, we click on, first of all, we choose radial because we want it to be getting darker as it goes out. And we want to keep the white there. But on this side, we'll click on this one and turn that into a color. Notice here that I went from grayscale to RGB. We'll choose a nice color. Do not click the swatches. That will make it a solid color and you get frustrated. So choose here some kind of nice gold color. Whatever you feel will work. There we go. And we want to deselect it. So if you click on it, that's selecting. You can do different things to it. And deselect, click on the outside. Now we need our little ribbon on the bottom. So take your pen tool, click here for our stroke. Let's pick a nice dark blue. And for the fill, a lighter blue. Now that we have our pen tool, we can click here. Then we will click down there. Click here. There. There. Notice that the ribbon is on the top. We want the ribbon underneath. So what we do is we'll go to layers and take our layer path and drag it underneath our medallion. And there we go. Starting to take shape. We're going to put a circle inside. So go to your little oval tool and hold down Shift if you want it to be a circle. It won't be an oval. You want it to be a circle. We'll put that on the top here so that it shows up. Now I want my circle in the middle to be the same color as the little sunshine layer underneath it. So what I do, with the layer selected, I'll take my eyedropper, click anywhere on there, and lo and behold, boom, shows up. And I want to move this down a little bit. And over. I could do all these adjustments as we go. Let me move this over a little bit, more like that, more even, and boom, there we go. The last thing we want to do is down here, first place. Choose a nice font. So we're going to type. Make it big enough. And I want to choose nice thick font. Here's Impact. It'll give me what I want. Make it a little bit bigger. And that's it. So let's save that. To save this, we'll go to Save As. We could save for web from here, but I want to have a little more control. than that. And we'll call this Illustrator 1. And we can save that in our folder. See here, we don't have that little line there. Let's just call it Illustrator 1. And we'll close Illustrator, open up Photoshop. And we're going to save for web just like we did for all of our Photoshop pieces. And it's kind of neat that we can do this with all the Adobe products. They really work well together. Here's what I was talking about, rasterize. Rasterize means you actually turn it into pixels and then you're stuck with that size. So we want it to be 72 and 4 inches. It's a good size. Here we go. And we can save it for web. And I'm going to save this as a GIF. Solid colors. There we go. And then we don't have any noise added. Save it in your folder. Boom. Last little thing. Notice that I left my Illustrator file in my folder. That's my internet folder. So I'm going to move that out. I don't want things that are not going to go up on the internet to be in there. Adobe Illustrator. Now you'll notice here we have GIFs, HTML documents, and JPEGs only in there. And there we go. That's our finished piece.